in, quote, Gestapo tactics after the clean sweep of the delegates on Saturday in Colorado. Is that characterization, Gestapo tactics, really appropriate?
Well, you know, it's not just our convention manager. I mean, even Kasich's people were talking about some of the tactics that were being used in Michigan. For example, they used the word strong arm, which essentially is the same thing. There are a lot of delegates that are receiving, let's just say, interesting phone calls from people that might sound intimidating. So we're going to find out, aren't we?
Is it appropriate to use the word Gestapo? Because I assume you know what the Gestapo did.
Well, it is a word to define exactly the type of malice that is involved with going after some of these delegates in a very hostile and intimidating way.
But Katrina, you know what the Gestapo did during World War II. That word should not be used to talk about the tactics that the Cruz campaign engaged. That was inappropriate, right?
Well, again, you're talking about a campaign that doesn't really care much for political correctness, and if it's a term that just simply describes how malicious this activity has been,
Gestapo. You don't use the word Gestapo to talk about a political campaign in the United States. That gives the Gestapo too much credit, right? Don't you wish you could have taken that back?
But where was all this hostility and concern when Mr. Trump was being called Hitler? So no, I mean, I think this is just another situation where it is a word to determine just how hostile that this has gone on in these states for these delegates, and I think it was a word that just lets everyone know exactly what he was talking about.
So you don't want to back away from the word. You don't want to back away from that word Gestapo?
No, and the Kasich campaign also talked about the strong-arm tactics that the Cruz campaign is using.
Strong-arm tactics is one thing, but the Gestapo, you know what they did during World War II. You know the millions of people, especially Jews, who were murdered.
Yes, he was talking about exactly the same thing, the strong-arm tactics that the Cruz campaign has been using, the intimidation, and a lot of people feel a little hurt by that.
All right. Stand by, Katrina. I want to continue this conversation. There's a lot more to discuss, much more with Katrina Pearson right after this.